afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another show of Inspirational Influencer News, People Making a Difference. And my guest this afternoon is certainly someone who is making a difference. Catherine O'Leary has spent the last 25 years crafting market research and finding insights for big corporations and really helping them get out and get the right clients and learning what it took to get the right clients and get them interested. So she's worked with people like Apple and Adobe and Pepsi and the Fortune 50 companies that are essentially doing the exact same thing as you and I, but they have a few more dollars. So she had the opportunity to really learn to craft what she was doing and understand why it worked. And now, fortunately for us, she's turned her attention to helping entrepreneurs grow subscriber lists, engage clients to be lifelong clients and raving fans, and to get to know them really well by combining the secrets of market research techniques with quiz funnel strategies. And quiz funnels have always been so interesting to me because we all know that people love to do quizzes and take, questions and feel like they're getting to know themselves better. It's just kind of part of the human condition. So this can be so wonderful. And she's got it all put together. So, Catherine, what is the one thing that you really want to make sure our audience learns about quiz funnels and how they can help them in their marketing?
I think the important thing to understand is that, as we go forward in the digital age and as everyone kind of brings their businesses online and so on, it gets more and more difficult to break through and to connect with your ideal clients without being kind of creepy and sliding into their DMs and doing kind of weird stuff like just mass emailing people on LinkedIn. But you really want to kind of create that conversation and start building that relationship. And it shouldn't be overly difficult, and it should be with your personality and your expertise being highlighted, and it should be fun. It should be engaging both for your client and for you as a business owner, and it should be a win-win all around. So I'm all about making sure that your marketing strategies and your lead generation strategies are a fun and engaging way for a win-win to occur for both your clients and for the business.
I think that's great because lead generation is one of the challenging aspects of starting your business because you really want to do it with the right people. And, part of what I train is, know your audience, know what their pain is or know what their burning desire is, and craft your message around that. Well, I'm so excited to get to try one of these quiz funnels one of these days, because to be able to know that about your audience going in, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. You could just hone in your message so well if you really got to know them before you started talking with them. That would be great.
And if you already know your target audience, which is perfect, that's really what you want. You want to have an offer and you want to know your target audience, because what you do is you start with the offer and you reverse engineer. So you actually, you already know where you're trying to send them to, which is your webinar, your call, your sales page, whatever that looks like. But you start with, the offer in mind, the target audience, already, what the problem to solve is. So now you're just going to, kind of revamp that a little bit, make it a quiz hook, if you will, a question that is the burning question. And the key thing here, it has to be the burning question for your ideal client. Can't be like the burning question for everyone and their brother. That's not who you want to talk to. I mean, really, you want to get right down to the people that you can serve. And you don't want to waste your time with the tire kickers and the freebie seekers. I mean, let's be fair. Let's attract the best and just release the rest. That's somebody else's business, and that's somebody else's.
Attract the best, release the rest. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so engage your target audience with that quiz hook that kind of captures them and they think, okay, well, I've done the Disney princess. I know which Disney princess I am. I've done the what 80s rock band I am, but now how am I going to grow my business to 7 figures? What's that one thing stopping me? Or, what's that one thing that I need to solve in order to become unstoppable? Or, what purse management style do I have? Whatever that looks like. And then you get to play. This is the playground. So then you get to actually take consumers through that journey. So the quiz questions, if you think of the quiz questions as a little bit of a roadmap, from the problem to solve to maybe where are they now in their business, to where do they want to be, what are they struggling with, how could you help them, here's your offer, warm handoff to the webinar, to the call, to the sales offer. That's ideally how you want to do it. So it's just honestly the start of a hopefully long and profitable relationship.
Well, I think what's really great about it, and the thing that's different, is that you engage them in the process right from the get-go. So it's not just all directed at them, but it's from them and then back out to them based on, what came from them. So, I mean, if you can get people engaged in that process right early on, I would think that that would make the entire engagement a lot easier.
The engagement is easier, your conversion rates will go up, your advertising costs will go down by as much as 2/3. And you're talking only to your ideal clients. So you're not wasting a lot of time on the back end, kind of vetting through the people that really aren't ready for you, or, the offer isn't for them. So it can be a very powerful lead magnet. And it's also, again, you're solving something, you're answering a question. You pose the question, they want the answer to it. You've taken them through a series of questions, and that aha moment at the end that makes you look like the amazing Preskin is, oh, you need, mindset training, or maybe you need business systems. And by the way, regardless of which one you need, I have an offer as a business coach that takes care of both of these things. But I'm going to talk to the mindset person about mindset, and I'm going to talk to the business system person about the business systems, and I'm going to show them both the door to my offer. So it's a nice warm handoff to warm them up. They get something, so they get the answer to their question. They get 1 or 2 value added, maybe, here are 2 things that you can do immediately to, get into the right mindset, or to increase or improve your business systems. And then, like if you want to work with me further, now you've shown them your expertise. Now you've, built up that know, like, and trust factor with them. It only took 60 seconds, but it's a powerful 60 seconds. And now they're more likely to take you up on watching that webinar, or take you up on that one-on-one phone call, whatever that may be.
Yeah, well, you can see how if you get them engaged from the start, because that's a real challenge, is to get them feeling like it's about them. And, what's great is that you can break out in there who needs some mindset work and they know it and they want it, and who needs business systems, or, who needs a better program, or who needs more Facebook ads, so if you can work on that and identify that, now they don't know what magic you've worked, but boy, now they know that you sort of were talking to them, but now you're exactly talking to them. And that is powerful.
Yeah, that's the power of perceived customization. So it's not directly one-to-one customization, but it is customized. So, everyone doesn't go into the same bucket. So, you take them through a logical series of questions that you've already actually prepped beforehand, because remember, we started at the offer and we worked backwards. So we already know the buckets that we want to put people in. That actually helps us build the question. So, I mean, at the end of it, you look like you're a mind reader, when really It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You've already created it to do exactly what it just did. And you look like a genius. I mean, how cool is that?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, what kinds of things can you actually find out while you go through quizzes?
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to be careful. It's not the census, it's not, a quiz, especially one for lead generation. So, one at the top of your funnel is a quick 60-second quiz. You're not talking about an assessment that might have like 70 or 80 questions that you might ask, down lower in the funnel for maybe a one-on-one mastermind or something like that. But a quiz for lead generation, you've got probably 5 to 8 questions, maybe 12, that's pushing it. You want to be very mindful. So I always tell people the quiz questions that you do include should be treated like $1 million real estate, right? So only put in there what you need to make sure that you put them in the right buckets and can, offer them, a way into your program. But also, you can ask questions around things that you can use in your database later to communicate with them about maybe other offers or maybe affiliate offers, things of that nature. You don't want to get down the path of trying to ask too much personal stuff. That's not the place or the time or the place. But you might be able to ask, it's keep the offer in mind. You want to drive them to the offer. So what do you need to know in order to make sure that the offer is relevant for them and that you're actually presenting the offer in the way that's going to be customized to them?
So, if I wanted to present an offer to somebody that I know had been in coaching for a while, but maybe wasn't making all the money that they'd like to be making,
Mhm.
are there money questions that I could ask them?
Sure, you could ask ranges. You can there are ways to structure the question. I wouldn't ask it as the first question in the quiz. That might turn people off. I might couch it more to the end and make sure that it's a little bit of that roadmap, right? You want to make sure that each question makes sense to go and links to the next question. So if people expect certain questions at the end of a quiz. So maybe something around do you want to increase your your income from 5 to 6 figures or 6 to 7 figures, keeping it general like that, you can definitely do.
Yeah, and I like that, increasing it from, so that they, if they have, a $50,000 income, and you ask if they'd like to go from where they are to 6 figures, they can choose that, and they're not really saying, well, I only really made, $25,000 in my business last year or something, which is great.
Yeah, and that's where the questionnaire development, the quiz development is really important. The way that you ask questions, there are certain ways to ask questions and certain ways that are just going to be very negative or turn people off, or they're just not going to be able to answer them. So in the 25 years that I put together surveys for corporate and the 3 years that I've been doing it for individuals, there's lots of different ways that you can ask a question that will get you the results that you want and not have them running for the hills.
Yeah, well, that's, it's amazing to have that kind of background and to have spent that amount of time worrying about questions to ask. But, that's the advantage of big corporations, right? They survey to find out stuff about their clients all the time. And, you know, add a 6-pack of Coke for taking my quiz, and I'll give you, a code or something. And people are happy, and they kind of like doing that sort of stuff. Oh, wow, it was fun, and I got a free Coke or a free 6-pack or whatever, right?
Yeah, and those surveys tend not to be intended to drive relationships, unless it's a customer satisfaction survey. So those surveys that you take for new products and so on, they tend to be one-sided, where the client is giving all the information and they're getting very little back. Whereas in a quiz in this format, it's all about the client. It's all about what they're going to learn. What's the question that's going to lead to the offer? And then that aha moment of, I've got the perfect solution for you. So it really is all about the client and less about the intake of the information, even though that's a huge win for the business.
Interesting. So you, I think, are coming up with a new program or something. Is that?
So I have a workshop, a free workshop, called Quizalicious, and it's starting tomorrow, June 2nd. I'm doing it June 2nd and June 3rd. And then that's a kind of a warm up, if you will, to the profitable quiz formula, which is actually the 6-week course that will take you through developing your quiz and your insights and your reports and all the rest of it. But Quizalicious is a workshop that will get you started on developing your quiz and get you well on your way.
Well, that's a kind of an interesting intro, and a great way for people to learn about it. And
Yeah.
It seemed to me, I know that when we talked a long time ago, you were launching something new in June or something. What was this? What you're launching?
Yeah. So it was the profitable quiz formula, which is the 6-week course. What I did is I added a little workshop on the front end just to warm people up, to give them a little bit of an insight and a little bit of a flavor of what a quiz can do. And let's just everyone get in a room and work on your quizzes, because I think that everyone deserves a quiz and every business should have a quiz. So let's get started and start knocking down some businesses and get some quizzes in place.
That's great. So what kind of businesses do you think profit most from quizzes?
You know what? I have yet to meet a business I can't, do a quiz for. There are, if it's bricks and mortar, if it's e-commerce, coaches, anything that you're driving traffic or trying to get new clients in the door, chiropractors, doctors, real estate agents, like everyone needs customers, everyone needs clients. So, this is just a fun way to engage, and the process of building the quiz doesn't actually change too much, depending on if you're bricks and mortar or digital, or a service-based versus product-based. The actual tenets of creating a questionnaire and creating a quiz are very, very similar. So, I think that pretty much anyone can take, provide a quiz. The other thing that's really great is that quizzes allow people to explore conversations and topics that mainstream advertising doesn't like to touch. So things like weight loss, or things like crypto, or any kind of sexual education, anything like that. A quiz can be a safe place to house some of that information that is a little more like less likely to get eyes on it if it's on, some of the other platforms.
So it's kind of like in a private space as opposed to a public or social media space.
Yeah, I mean, a quiz can live anywhere you can put a link. So, but the quiz itself, like the platform, and there are tons of different platforms, but the platform stands alone from, any kind of advertising or website. You can embed it in your website. You can put it in your email and link to it. You can put it on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube and link it, but it actually sits by itself. So it's a little more autonomous.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have to step out of Facebook or something to take the quiz.
Yes. Yeah.
And, so that means that it's not under Facebook's umbrella, which relaxes them, and they don't have the same legal obligations and stuff. So
yeah, and like, to drive traffic, those platforms, fantastic, right? Absolutely. It's just, it's not the same as having not a full, but a 60-second conversation, which will seem like a lot more because of the value that you pack into it.
So do you find people using that on paid advertising as well?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do people use paid advertising to send people to a quiz funnel?
Oh, yeah, they can. Yeah. Paid advertising, joint ventures, affiliates. You can post it on your website. You can give, if you imagine speaking at a summit or something, you can actually have your quiz as your giveaway. and just say, hey, take my quiz.com. And that actually has an opt-in page for them to get the results, so that, you take care of everything right there. And it's a little bit more of a conversation. And it's fun. Everyone, oh, she's got a quiz. That's amazing. I'm going to take the quiz. And they still get the report at the end as to what, the question that you're answering, because you still have to deliver that. You have to deliver what you promised.
So I'm curious, could you use a quiz? Let's say you were a speaker and you were looking at what would be a great topic for a speech for me to, move a product. Could you use a quiz to find out some information about that?
So what kind of topics would be best to talk, like to actually have to create a talk title?
Yeah.
You could. I would do market research first. I would do a little bit more market research, and then do a quiz that would actually drive people to your offer. Right. So create the actual speaking engagement. So the talk title and the talk to talk about what your offer and so on, and then have a quiz to say, oh, what kinds of things can we help you with in this offer, and then deliver them straight to the offer. So the actual, you can do some market research with quizzes, but there are other ways that you can probably do it a little easier and a little faster.
Okay. Yeah. I just wondered how much market research, I guess, you could do via a quiz, but I guess there's better ways to do it.
Well, you can, and that's what the corporations do. It's just that those surveys tend to be, $50,000 to $2 million, and they can take up to 2 years. Not that you have to do that. I've done quiz or surveys that are, 30,000 in a few weeks, but it's there are more efficient ways for entrepreneurs that are not, Apple, HP, and Adobe, to be able to find that information.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. For sure. Well, it's it's just interesting to think of all the ways that you can use quizzes. And I just love the fact that you can really, sort of grease the slide, if you like, of getting people into your world and experiencing what you have to offer in a way that makes them feel involved in the process all the way along. So it's not so much that you're selling them something, it's that
Right.
you're teaching and helping them all the way along.
It's
And
a self-discovery. They're learning it as they go through.
Right.
And the one quiz that Mary, you could do, given that you have this fabulous show, is you could do a topic, like what topic would you like to learn most about? And then at the end, what you could do is actually have a playlist and link, like if you had business systems and mindset and maybe time management. So I want to, get your top 5, live sessions on time management. You create a quiz to get to that answer. And then at the end, you can say, you know what, look up episode number 3, 7, and 25 for the time management. And that's a way to repurpose your content, and get them re-engaged and even introduced to content maybe they haven't seen yet.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'll have to go through my talks and see who's got those kinds of things going on. That would be
Yeah,
great.
that's a different way, different spin on introducing some previous content that you or anyone else that has a podcast or YouTube or a Facebook Live or anything, that you can reintroduce people to and introduce new people.
Right. Right. Oh, that's great. That would be fantastic. Very fun. So is there anything else that we really have to know before we have to say goodbye?
No, I think just take a step back and ask the questions, and just make sure that that you're having some fun and engage, and again attract the best and release the rest.
And maybe you can just spell out a link to go to your Podlicious thing. It's not Podlicious, sorry, Quizalicious. I know it's by the same group that does Podlicious, but anyway, as long as it's a licious group.
Yeah, you can go to, it's actually P as in Peter, PQF as in Frank, learn. So all one word, PQF learn, dot Catherine O'Leary, all one word, no apostrophe, .com.
So you can see that, and down here in Catherine's name, and it's PQ as in queen or quiz, and F as in father or
Formula.
honey or okay, and then your name.com.
Correct. PQFlearn.com.
PQ.
Oh, sorry, PQF.CatherineO'Leary.com. We'll get it right. We'll get there.
Say it again.
PQFlearn.CatherineO'Leary.com.
Okay, so the PQF learn
is Quizalicious.
CatherineO'Leary.com.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And
That's
for
awesome.
those of you joining us tomorrow, I will be happy to see you. I'm very excited. I've got some of my beach stuff going here already. And we're going to have a lot of fun building quizzes.
Beach. Woohoo!
Yeah, exactly. Popsicles and beach stuff. And we're bringing in summer. It's the year of the quiz.
Sounds good. Okay, well, thank you so much, Catherine. I really, really appreciate this. And I look forward to actually figuring out what a quiz might look like that I could use. That sounds fantastic.
Yep, there's lots of ways. We'll help you out.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.